500,000 new millionaires in 1 year. That's not a typo. The United States just minted 562,000 fresh millionaires in 2024. And the story behind this wealth explosion reveals something fascinating about where money is flowing right now. Picture this. Every single day last year, about 1,540 Americans woke up as millionaires for the first time. That's more than one person every minute of every business hour. We're talking about regular people who crossed that seven-figure threshold, bringing America's total millionaire population to 7.9 million. To put that in perspective, that's more millionaires than the entire population of Switzerland. But here's where it gets interesting. This wasn't some lottery windfall or inheritance bonanza. The real story is what drove this massive wealth creation, and spoiler alert, it has everything to do with those AI stocks everyone's been talking about. Remember when your tech-savvy friend wouldn't shut up about Nvidia? Well, they might be one of those new millionaires now. Nvidia's stock absolutely exploded, climbing 171% in 2024. Just that one company accounted for 22% of the entire S&P 500's gains. Think about that. One company out of 500 drove nearly a quarter of the market's growth. The broader market wasn't slouching either. The S&P 500 jumped 23% while the Nasdaq soared almost 29%. If you had money in the market, you probably did pretty well. But if you were heavy in tech, especially AI-related stocks, you might have done exceptionally well. What's really wild is how this compares to the rest of the world. While America was creating millionaires at breakneck speed, Europe actually saw its millionaire population decline by 2%. Latin America and the Middle East also posted drops. It's like watching different economies moving in completely opposite directions. The contrast with China is particularly striking. Chinese billionaire wealth actually retreated from its peak, dropping from $2.1 trillion to $1.8 trillion. Meanwhile, India emerged as the surprise winner in Asia, with billionaire wealth surging 42%. But let's zoom out for a second. America now hosts 38% of the world's millionaires. Nearly 40% of all millionaires on Earth live in the United States. That's not just economic dominance, that's economic concentration on a scale we've rarely seen in history. Now, before you start thinking all these new millionaires inherited their wealth or won the startup lottery, here's a reality check. Research shows that 79% of millionaires didn't receive any inheritance. They built their wealth the old-fashioned way, through work, saving, and investing. Most of them are around 57 years old, and it took them an average of 28 years to hit that $1 million mark. But here's where the story takes an interesting turn. The ultra-wealthy, those with at least $30 million, saw their ranks grow even faster at 6.2%. That's twice the rate of regular millionaires. These ultra-wealthy individuals now control 34% of all millionaire wealth, despite being only 1% of the millionaire population. The rich really are getting richer, and the data proves it. What drove all this wealth creation? The answer is pretty straightforward: artificial intelligence. The AI boom didn't just create new technologies, it created a massive transfer of wealth to those who owned the right stocks at the right time. Companies building AI infrastructure, chips, and software saw their valuations skyrocket as every major corporation rushed to implement AI strategies. Microsoft alone announced plans to spend $80 billion on AI data center infrastructure in 2025. When companies are throwing around numbers like that, you can see why the companies supplying the picks and shovels for the AI gold rush did so well. But this wealth boom comes with a massive challenge that nobody's really talking about. We're on the brink of the largest wealth transfer in human history. An estimated $84 trillion will transfer from older generations to younger ones over the coming decades. Here's the kicker. 81% of inheritors plan to ditch their parents' wealth managers within 2 years. The wealth management industry is about to face its biggest disruption ever. Young millionaires don't want the same stuffy advisors and traditional strategies their parents used. They grew up with apps, they're comfortable with technology, and they have completely different expectations about how their money should be managed. This generational shift isn't just about different preferences. It's about a fundamental change in how wealth is created and preserved. The old model of slow, steady accumulation over decades is being challenged by a new reality where technological disruptions can create massive wealth in just a few years. Looking ahead, where does this leave us? Well, if the tech executives are right about AI spending, we're still in the early innings. Nvidia's CEO thinks annual data center spending could reach $1 trillion by 2028. That's not a typo either. $1 trillion annually just on AI infrastructure. For those who missed the initial AI boom, the question becomes, what's the next wave? History shows us that every major technological shift creates new millionaires. The internet boom did it, the mobile revolution did it, and now AI is doing it. The pattern is clear. Those who position themselves ahead of major technological shifts tend to do very well. But there's also a cautionary tale here. Market euphoria can't last forever. Interest rates, geopolitical tensions, and trade uncertainties all pose risk to continued wealth creation at this pace. The same forces that created 500 million millionaires in one year could reverse just as quickly. The bottom line? We're living through one of the most dramatic wealth creation periods in American history. Whether you're already benefiting from it or watching from the sidelines, understanding these trends is crucial. Because when 562,000 people become millionaires in a single year, it's not just about individual success stories. It's about fundamental shifts in how wealth is created and distributed in our economy. The real question isn't whether this pace of wealth creation can continue. It's whether you'll be positioned to benefit from whatever comes next. Because if there's one thing we know for sure, it's that the next wave of technological disruption is always just around the corner. What do you think? Is this level of wealth creation sustainable? Or are we due for a correction? Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.